Hello and welcome to episode 76 of the Fisher Fitness Coaching Podcast. Hope you're good. Thank you for listening, as per usual. This episode is on, well, to put it bluntly, it's excuses, really. So, I don't know how this came about. I just sort of thought of it. I spend, I don't know, sometime during the week thinking of ideas of content, podcast ideas, posts, reels, and all that sort of stuff. I actually spend a lot of time thinking about content over the week. It is part of my job to think of ideas, think of struggles, barriers that you guys face, which sort of hold you back from achieving what you want to achieve. And something that I thought about was excuses that you potentially tell yourself. And this isn't me calling anyone out at all, by the way, just to make that clear. This is basically because I've heard a lot of reasons in my 15-year career, and some of these excuses as well, I've told myself also. So it's not just you who have potentially had these excuses or told yourself you can't do something because of one of these reasons. It's something I've done as well. Hence why I thought it'd be a good idea to write down as many as I can potentially think of. I've come up with 10, a good round number of 10, and I'll go through each of those excuses and try to, break them down? I don't know. And essentially break them down and advise why they're not very good excuses. And a lot of the time, these reasons it's just a way for you to, I guess, how do I put this without sounding like a dick? Without telling yourself these things to make you feel less bad about not doing what you need to do to get the results you want. A lot of the time as well, it's, the results you want is to get leaner, get more definition, get stronger, build more muscle, feel better about your body, essentially, right? So yeah, I've come up with 10 and have a listen and see what you think. See which of these excuses you have told yourself, and hopefully it will allow you to sort of think clearly about each and every one of them, and to then realize, actually, no, it's not a valid excuse. It's something I can overcome. And also hopefully it also means that you will be able to start your journey and achieve what you want to achieve, right? And this is the whole point. It's not me just being being a dick and being like, well, your excuses aren't valid, they're shit, all this kind of stuff. It's just me trying to help you out. So like I said, I've come up with 10. If you can think of any more, let me know. And by the way, like, there will be some reasons why you can't either get to the gym or you can't do something you need to do to get the outcome you want. And that's absolutely fine, because everyone has their own barriers. Everyone has their own obstacles and reasons for not doing something. But these are, these are very common, and a lot of the time they can be rectified, I suppose. Is that the right saying? Who knows? Anyway, so the first one I've come up with is probably the most common. It's I don't have enough time. Which, yeah, I get it. For some people, that can be the case. Like, some people are so busy they literally haven't got the time to do anything like that. They've got, most people have busy jobs, busy lives, kids, life stresses, lots of stuff going on. But a lot of the time, people do have enough time. And I think the thing is they just think they don't have enough time. They don't realize, one, they don't need as much time as they think to get to where they want to be. And another reason is it's just a lack of organization skills, really. That's basically it. So a good way to know if you do have enough time or not is to go onto your phone and go onto screen time, and in a week, see how much time you spend on your phone in a week. And I guarantee it's a good few hours. If you spend 3-4 hours on your phone a week, that means you have enough time, because all you need literally to build a body you're proud of is literally 2 to 3 sessions in a gym every week. And each of those sessions only need to be about 45 minutes. If you have the right structure, if you have the right programming. Obviously, yes, it takes more time depending on where you live, in terms of where you live in relation to how far away the gym is, for example. There's lots of other factors to think about, but most people need just 2 to 3 sessions a week in the gym, and each of those sessions only need to be 45 minutes or so, hour max. So yeah, most of the time it's just not knowing you don't need as much time as you think you need to get the results you want. So checking your screen time on your phone, that's a big one. It's like, okay, well, I spend way too much time on my phone. I know I do, because it's basically part of my job, or I'm sort of trapped with my phone because I've, replied to clients, and I do all my communicating with clients on WhatsApp, social media stuff, editing, recording. I spend a lot of time, but a lot of people don't have that. They spend a lot of time scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and just sort of doom scrolling at night. First thing in the morning, at lunchtime. Most people spend 2 to 3 hours a day on their phone at least. And then that's not to mention the time you potentially spend watching Netflix or Amazon, or series on TV. Again, I guarantee most people watch TV 1 to 2 hours a day, and if you add that up over the week, that's a lot of time that you can potentially save, and put that time into going to the gym, into prepping more meals, organizing things you need to get the results you want, right? So a lot of the time it's not lack of time, it's just lack of priorities. You're not prioritizing your time well enough. So that's the first one. Again, it's just to summarize, you don't think you have enough time because you think you need to spend 2-3 hours in the gym every day. You don't. 2 to 3 times a day. Sorry, 2 to 3 times a week. Each of those sessions, 45 minutes max. You just need to know what you need to do. You need to know what you're doing in the gym. And again, with fat loss, you don't actually need any more time for fat loss. You just need to reduce the amount of calories you are consuming, and that doesn't really need any time. You can lose fat just by laying on the sofa all day, every day. It's just about how much and what goes in your mouth, basically. So that's the first one. Most of the time, you do have enough time. Excuse number 2 is along the lines of, I'll start when life gets a bit less busy. Again, life, it never really gets less busy. Like the older you get, it seems to get busier. We have, again, most of us have busy jobs. Some of us have kids. I don't, so I have a lot more time because I'm not a parent, but my work is very busy. I could easily be like, I just haven't got time today. I'm too busy with work. But again, it's about making priorities. And these stresses, these life stresses will always be there. So if you're waiting for like the perfect time to start, you'll still be waiting in like 5 years' time. Again, it's about reorganizing your week, reorganizing your day, creating a bit more structure, and realizing this again. It comes down to priorities. You can quite easily fit in 3 sessions a week in the gym. Most people can. It's about organizing your diary, planning what you need to do, like writing to-do lists, doing the most important things first, obviously. And yeah, it's just a case of knowing and understanding that life will never be less busy. Yes, you'll have busier and less busy phases in life. But a lot of the time it's just organizing. It's just structuring your week effectively, essentially. So that's the second one. Third one is I'm just too tired, or I'm too tired after work. And this is huge because it's not, you're probably too tired because you don't work out, because you don't train, because you're not on this journey. You feel more tired because of your lifestyle, your current lifestyle habits. You go to bed too late. Your sleep isn't very good because you lay in bed watching TikToks or Instagram reels. You potentially drink too much alcohol, which is affecting your sleep. At the weekends, you change your sleeping habits. You go to bed at midnight instead of 10 p.m. You wake up at 9 a.m. instead of 6 a.m. So you're almost giving yourself jet lag. It's the same sort of thing. Every week, you're changing your circadian rhythm, which is going to affect how you feel during the week. You're gonna spend most of the week knackered because you just sort of messed up your sleeping cycle. So simply by changing your eating habits, going to bed at the same time every single night, even at weekends, even going to the gym once, twice a week, will give you energy. It'll make you feel less tired. So the excuse of I'm too tired, that's even more of a reason to start going to the gym, start eating healthier, start changing your lifestyle habits. Tiredness is a symptom of your current lifestyle. It's not a reason to keep it going, So that's the third one. And let me know after you've listened to this, which of these excuses have you told yourself? And has any of this helped, Again, it's not me sort of saying I'm not calling you out. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying that there's different ways to think about this. Hopefully it will change how you see these potential excuses and these reasons not to start going to the gym or not to start changing your lifestyle habits, Fourth one, I don't know what I'm doing. Again, it's the excuse people use, but I don't think it's valid. The reality is, like, no one knew what they were doing at the start. If you start anything new, it's going to feel strange. It's going to feel alien. And that's the whole point of doing it. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but things change out of your comfort zone. If I always say to my clients, if you won't change if nothing changes. In order to change, you have to change. So thinking I don't know what I'm doing, that's part of it. You're not gonna, you don't get into a car when you're 17 years old and know exactly how to drive. It's like saying, I'm not going to start driving because I don't know how to drive. So, well, yeah, that's the whole point, because you start somewhere. You have to start learning. You learn how to change your habits. You learn how to train in the gym. You know what to do in the gym. It's about starting and then learning as you go. And another massive benefit of having a coach is someone like myself will literally tell you what to do and will help you along the way. Will will teach you things, will, coach you along the way. So you do understand what to do. You know exactly what to do every time you go into the gym. You know exactly what to do when you are trying to prep food for the week, Again, like I said, that's why coaches exist. You can get loads of free information from Google or YouTube or Chat GPT. There's so much information out there for free. You could actually start reading. If you don't want the effort of doing all that research yourself, then hire a coach. Hire me, and I will tell you what to do, and I will explain why you're doing it, and I'll help you along the way. Sort of build a roadmap from the start point now to your end goal, overcoming potential barriers and obstacles along the way. So yeah, that's the fourth one. Number 5. I've got 10 to get through, so I'll try and get through these fairly quickly. Number 5 is one I hear weirdly quite a few times. I need to get fitter before joining a gym, which again doesn't make any sense to me, because I get the idea. The idea of going to a gym is going to be very nerve-wracking and uncomfortable. So you think that the gym's full of fit people, fit, strong athletes. So I need to fit into that environment by losing weight, by getting stronger, by looking and feeling better. Well, this is literally the reason why you go to the gym: to get stronger, to build muscle, to feel better, to get more confident. It's sort of like it's like an alcoholic saying, "Oh, I need to get sober, but I need to get sober before going to AA." It's like, well, no, you go to AA to get sober, right? So if you think about it that way, it makes no sense. No one started at the gym as an expert. That, like, if you take me, for example, I didn't have a clue what I was doing when I first started. When I was like 18, 19, I went to the gym. I just copied people. I was just doing loads of bench press, loads of arm curls, ab stuff, because I thought, you do that to get abs. I didn't have a clue. I just winged it. But if I knew about coaches, and if I had the income, if I had the disposable income, I would have got myself a coach way before I did, because you learn so much. So no, you don't need to get fitter or stronger or get into better shape before joining a gym. You have to join a gym in order to get fitter, get stronger, and get into better shape. All right. Number 6. Again, a reason or an excuse I've heard so many times: I'm too old, which is insane. Like, you don't have to be a certain age in order to go to the gym. Like, it's not all about being 20 and joining a gym when you're young. Growing up or growing older is like a bigger reason to start going to the gym, to start focusing on your health and your lifestyle habits, focusing on getting stronger, building muscle. So to say that I'm too old, it's like, no, you're feeling old because you don't do this stuff. The quickest way to actually feel old is to stop moving. It's to stop exercising, stop lifting, and to not focus on your nutrition and your lifestyle. Muscle loss happens when you get older. You start to ache more. You start to feel different pain, and things start to just feel a lot more effort. And that's why you probably think, oh yeah, it's too late now. It's not. It's the reason you need to start, especially if you're in your nearly 40, you're in your 40s and you start to feel pain, or your back's starting to feel achy all the time. And you've got a job which involves lots of moving and lifting and stuff, even more reason you need to start lifting, for longevity reasons, if anything. You don't want to be 60 years old and struggling to walk or run, walking up the stairs or lifting things. You need to start now. Like if you're in your 30s or 40s, 50s or 60s, even 70s, even more of a reason to start lifting, start training, start getting stronger, start training to build muscle. You'll feel better, you'll move better, you'll move for longer, Yeah, so many benefits come from starting now. If you want to age well, you honestly you have to start now. There's no right time to start. It's literally now, especially if you're getting on with the sort of older age group, shall we say. Next up, it's too expensive. So yeah, I get it. Not everyone can afford a gym membership. Not everyone can afford a coach. I get it. It is costly. But what's more costly is the years lost. The potential years you are not adding onto your life by not training, by not going to a gym 2, 3, 4 times a week. If you think about an average gym membership nowadays, you can get a gym membership. Well, I've just signed up to a gym for $12.99 a month, right? That's literally nothing. It's a couple of quid a day. All right. And if we start to think about what most people spend their money on, and again, it's not me telling you what you need to spend your money on. It's up to you. This is your money. You earn it. You work hard for your money. You can spend your money on what you want. But saying I can't afford it, or it's too expensive, it's like, okay, well, that's fair enough. But if it's something you really want to do, and you think you really can't afford it, then go through your transactions and your online banking and go through everything and see what you can potentially stop spending money on. Like if you think most people a lot of people spend money on a coffee every morning, and that's what, 3.54 quid. 4 quid every day is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. £28 a week. Sorry. Yeah, £28 a week. That's £90, £100 a month you're saving already on a coffee. And that's not taken into account potential takeaways, Deliveroos, eat meals out, beers at the weekend. I used to spend a ridiculous amount of money on going out at the weekends boozing. It's insane the amount of money I must have wasted on going out. And still people in their 30s and 40s, even 50s, go out most weekends or every weekend to enjoy themselves and easily spend 100 quid a night, Friday night and Saturday night. £200 a month easily on booze. And straight away, you save £200 a month. That's a gym membership. And that's potentially a coach as well. So it's not for most people, it's not that it's too expensive. It's the fact that you don't want to spend the money on these things. And that's fine. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. You can spend your hard-earned working money on what you want. It's just that most people prefer to spend their money on clothes, shoes, materialistic things, booze, food, meals out, coffees, pastries and stuff, and it all adds up. If you were to add all this up, it would be, I wouldn't be surprised if it was at least £500 a month you're potentially spending on this sort of stuff. So if you think about it that way, a gym membership for 20, 25, 30 quid a month, it's not much. If, for example, I pay £400 a month to my coach. Now he's my business mentor and he's my coach for training and nutrition. So he looks after my programming for the gym stuff I do, my nutrition. He just basically helps me keep on track, and he helps me with my business too. So yes, there's a lot of money, but it's an investment. It's an investment in my health, my body, and my business and my future, essentially. So that it's not for me personally, it's not a huge amount because I know it's going to help me build my business. It's going to help me keep or stay in shape or improve my shape. It's going to help me improve my knowledge. I'm investing in it. I'm investing in my future and in my life and my health and my body. So, not investing in your health will cost more later, in lost years, medication, all this stuff. You don't want to be 60 or 70, like I just said, not able to walk and move well and have all this pain. Number 8. I don't want to start because I don't want to give up all the nice foods, all the foods I like. Again, something I've heard before. And I've heard someone say to me before as well, like, I kind of feel sorry for you because you're in this industry, but you obviously can't have all these nice foods. It's like, that's so far from the truth. I probably have more junk food than you. And the reason I have these delicious foods is because I'm in this industry, because I understand nutrition. I understand how fat loss works. I understand how muscle growth works. I understand about food, which means I can still have these delicious foods and not put on weight and not be unhealthy. It's about moderation and not complete elimination. You don't have to have all these like healthy foods. It's not all about chicken and broccoli and, eating just plain boring salads and plain fish, It's about moderation, understanding you can still have these quote unquote junk foods. The only reason I say junk is because these sorts of foods are hyper palatable. They're ultra processed. They're delicious, and they're very high in calories. And they don't contain much nutrition. That's why they're called junk. It's not a bad thing. It's just how I like to say it. So with the right coaching and the right level of knowledge, with the right understanding, you can still enjoy a few pints. You can enjoy pizza or chocolate. You just can't live off them. And this is the thing nowadays, like society has led us to believe that if you eat healthy food, you're on a diet, which is insane. So if someone sees you eating a salad and some chicken, they're like, "Oh, are you on a diet? Are you watching your weight?" It's like, well, I'm just eating real food. Like, it's come to that stage where it's almost weird if you're seen eating vegetables and a bit of meat and a potato, when really, like, that's the sort of food you have to be eating most of the time. And then every now and then, yeah, you could enjoy a chocolate bar, a double-decker, a bag of crisps, a pint or two. I've got a client of mine who's lost 10 kilos in the past 8 weeks, and he still enjoys a couple of pints of Guinness every weekend because he now knows, he understands nutrition, he understands how energy balance works. I've taught him how to still enjoy these foods and drinks in his life without, giving it all up and still being able to lose body fat. And that's the beauty of understanding nutrition and understanding fat loss and how it all works. You don't have to give up all these nice foods. And once you understand all that, it's so freeing. It's so like, right, I can get both. I can have both. I can get the results I want. I can build a body I want, and I don't have to live like a monk. Anyway, number 9. Again, something I've heard a few times, not many, but I've put it in there anyway. I'm not going to start because I'll never look like the guys you see online. So what's the point? It's like, well, okay, I get it. Again, this is social media's fault, I suppose, for showing all these like 10 out of 10 physiques. But when you understand that these pictures and videos you see, they are the pinnacle of their physique. They have changed so much in order to get that final shot. It's not how people look 364 days of the year. They look like that one day of the year. You are seeing that picture and that video because they have spent so long getting to that point. This is not an average physique. Like if you were to see my physique when I did my shoot back in May, I spent so long preparing for that day, like months, 4 months of a building phase, 5 months of a dieting phase, and then like a week of manipulating, like cutting up water carb loading, all this kind of stuff, like tanning, oil, you name it, pumping up. I don't look like that. I looked like that once, that split second of the video. I was tensing, I was pumped up, the lighting was there, I was tanned. It's the same thing with all these physiques you see on Instagram. It's not the average physique. So comparing yourself to Instagram physiques is just pointless, because they are not how most physiques look. And your goal isn't to be like a fitness model, right? It's not. Your goal is to be fitter, stronger, happier in your skin. It's to build a body you are proud of. And yeah, that'll be losing a bit of body fat. That'll be building a bit of muscle. You don't have to take it to the absolute extreme. You're not a bodybuilder unless you want to be a bodybuilder, and that's a whole different level of commitment. There's no such thing as perfection. Progress beats perfection every single time. So don't think about, oh yeah, but I'll never look like so-and-so. Yeah, but you won't, because you're not them. You have your own, everyone has their own peak physique. This is why I built the Peak Physique project, right? Just to help you get to your peak physique, whatever that looks like. And most people's peak physique is when they build a substantial amount of muscle and lose a fair amount of body fat to get that person lean. That is your peak physique. And that will look different to mine. Mine looks different to yours and everyone else's. This is why it's so cool to be like, right, I am unique to, I am completely unique. My physique is unique. There's no such thing as perfect. And I think it should be most people's goals to be like, yeah, I want to see where I can get to. I want to see how I look and feel when I'm pretty lean and with muscle. And it's a journey. It takes time, but it's absolutely worth it. So yeah, don't think that just because you won't look like a typical fitness model online on TikTok or Instagram, there's no point. I see it as a challenge, right? Get yourself lean and just see how you look and see how you feel. It'll definitely change your life for sure. And the last one is, I'll start on Monday. I'll start next week. I'll start on the 1st. I'll start in January. Again, it's just like Monday, or starting on a certain day or date, is basically a code for basically saying, oh, no, I'll never do it. It's just, you're giving yourself an excuse just you're giving yourself an excuse to postpone it, I suppose, and to delay the start point. It's like, well, just start now. Start today. There's no starting on Monday, I get it. I get the sort of the reasoning and the thought behind it. It gives you like a bit of a reason to reset, start of the week, start of the month, start of the year. But more often than not, that never comes. Or if it does start, if you do start on a Monday, you'll stop by Thursday. It's just the wrong mindset to have. Start now. The best time was starting yesterday. But obviously, that's already happened. So start today, start tomorrow, start right now, And if you're sitting there thinking, yeah, but what do I do to start now? So, well, it could just be simply going for a walk. It could be having a nice healthy meal. It could be not having 3 cans of whatever, I don't know, Peroni. Do they do cans of Peroni? Anyway, it's like, right, what's today? Wednesday. Okay, it's Wednesday, so I'm going to go for a half an hour walk. I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to buy loads of meats. I'm going to buy loads of veg and fruit. That's starting today. Even by thinking about it, cooking a nice, decent meal. Do a home workout. Go and do 10 push-ups, go for a walk. Don't wait for a calendar date. Don't wait for a specific time. Just start now. I guarantee if you was to start now, that would build on, it would build on to something else tomorrow. You would start to build better habits, and that's when these habits become easier and easier, and you'll start to break down poor ones and build up better ones. And then over time, your physique will probably start changing. You'll feel better. You'll have more energy. You'll start to get stronger, and then you'll have more confidence. So then you think, right, I'm going to go to the gym. Once you go to the gym, You don't have to have a specific structure. Just go to the gym, get through the door, get on the treadmill for 10 minutes, go on the bike, see a machine and to be like, I'm going to have a go at that. I'm just going to push or pull a few weights a few times, even if it's 15 minutes in the gym. Like, you've broken that barrier, you've got over that barrier. Next time it'll feel a bit easier and easier and easier. So, it's just about starting now and then building up gradually over the course of weeks, months, years, I've got a client actually who one of her obstacles was going to the gym. So I gave her a really basic gym workout, and she wasn't going just because she was putting it off. She was giving herself excuses like, oh, I'm just not feeling very well, or I'm just a bit tired, or I haven't got much time. It's like, right, you have got time. We found out that the main reason was because she was just a bit nervous, which is absolutely fine. So I said to her, right, your challenge this week, tomorrow during a check-in, I said, tomorrow I would like you to not follow the program I gave you. Just your challenge is just to get through the gym door, walk through the gym, walk into the gym, and your aim is to stay there for 10 minutes, right? In that 10 minutes, I want you to go onto the treadmill, walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes, and then go onto the cross trainer or the bike for 5 minutes. And that's it. That's your session done. But I knew deep down, if she was to do that, I knew her barrier was getting through the door and actually go into the gym. I knew that once she was there, she would continue. And she did. She messaged me afterwards. She messaged me before with a picture of her about to walk into the gym saying, here we go. I replied with like, right, yeah, go for it. Have fun, smashing it. Afterwards, I got the best voice note from her saying, I feel amazing. I stayed for longer than I thought. I did this and I did that. Then I did that. I have so much energy. I feel like I could run a marathon. She was buzzing, like literally buzzing, because she broke down that barrier. She got over her main hurdle of not going to the gym. And yes, I could have said to her, oh, just, don't worry about this week. Go on Monday. Or don't worry about this month. Start on the 1st of October. But what's the point in that? You're just delaying the inevitable. You're delaying it. So just start now. You won't regret it, I guarantee. So yeah, this whole thing about starting on Monday or starting on the 1st of January, starting on the 1st of the month, it's just, you're just giving yourself an excuse to delay what you should be starting right now. All right. So yeah, I hope that sort of helped. 10 excuses which I've heard in the past, which you may relate to. I hope they have helped in some way. If any of them have resonated with you, let me know, and let me know what you think. But yeah, that's it. Bit of a long one today, but I hope that helped. As always, appreciate you listening. Any questions from any of that, let me know on Instagram, and I'll be happy to help you out. I'll speak to you on the next episode.